This video is brought to you by Against the Flow of Mississippi. Against the Flow of Mississippi is a book about Jake Fayard, a Marine veteran who is unhappy with the political machine running the state of Mississippi. He decides to fight the corruption from the inside. Jake will face more challenges than he ever has and will stand up for what he thinks is right. His notoriously hot temper will push him to the edge of murder, along with his friend and brother Kobe Barhanovich. Together, they will fight the system and give the power back to the citizens of Mississippi.
Against the Flow of Mississippi was written by Anthony Oksenholt and was published by Oksenholt Biloxi Publishing, LLC. A link to the book will be placed in the description below.
Yeah, this a revolution in our time. Everybody's fighting, change coming, yes. That's why it's an acronym for riot. Everybody has a voice. Don't you dare stay silent. If you say nothing, you are an accessory to violence.
They've had their say. Seems like they've had that kind of say around here for too long. Look, I had to stand up for myself alone. I went in there to remind them that somewhere in this world there's still a little law and order left. To let them know in the only kind of terms that their kind understand is that they can't bribe or threaten their way out of what they did. To let them do this to me and get away with it, and you give them the eternal right to do the same damn thing to any one of you.
Access 228, your host, Anthony Oksenholt, where we report the facts and we are not for sale. If you have a news story or something that's on your mind, please feel free to give us a call at 228-337-2099. Be glad to have you on. Thank you for listening, and we do appreciate all that you do to support us and keep free and independent journalism doing what we do best.
You know, I'm doing this podcast with no news to report. I just want to give my thoughts. I've been doing some thinking, and you know, by the way, y'all, hands free. See, both hands. I don't mess with my phone. I don't hold my phone while I'm driving. And I am driving. This is Anthony Oksenholt, Access 228. Anyway, I've been doing some thinking here. And, you know, I don't really watch the news. I don't listen to the radio that much. What I do is I listen to audiobooks. Keeps my mind sharp. Especially like right now, middle of the night, coming across central Louisiana, when there ain't nothing out here. But the audiobook that I'm listening to right now is called The Street Lawyer. And you know, I've read the book before. I've listened to the book. Of course, being an author myself, I do have to admit that, you know, I kind of draw a lot of my writing style from John Grisham, and I don't plagiarize. I don't believe in plagiarism. I'm of the opinion that those who plagiarize should be subject to getting castrated and have their testicles mailed to their mother. That's just the way I feel about it. But I would be lying if I said that I didn't derive some of my ideas in writing from a lot of his books. And being that a lot of his books are surrounded by lawyers, and he himself is a member of the Mississippi Bar, I tend to take that he pretty well knows what he's doing. And he pretty well knows what he's talking about. So, to get into where I want to throw my thoughts at on this tonight, the street lawyer is about a lawyer in D.C. He's a Yale graduate, works at a very prestigious firm, and decides to start slumming and do what us common folks would call some real work. And he goes from his high-rise law office to working as a homeless advocate. Of course, if you've ever been to D.C., and I certainly have many times, a lot of bums in D.C. Just gonna call it what it is. Anyway, one of the parts of the book talks about him going after some bad lawyers and bad corporations, and said that a big trial would be very embarrassing to the defendants. So I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm like, you know, I've been arguing that my whole life. And somehow or another, the way my mind works, I started thinking about my friend that was assaulted by Officer Talbot Robinson, Darren Tishner, and Madeline Whitaker of the Gulfport Police Department. And it got me thinking that, you know, since she's suing the city, a lot of lawyers would like to take the money and run. I don't know what her lawyer's doing. We have not spoke about it. So I don't know what her lawyer's strategy is. I don't know what he's planning on doing. I hope he's not going to settle. Because a settlement would be the ultimate miscarriage of justice. Yeah, she might get a few $1,000s out of it. Maybe 10 figures. Or, I'm sorry, excuse me, 5 figures. Tens of thousands. Maybe even into the 6 figures. That's not my hope. And I don't think that's her hope either. But what needs to happen? What I think needs to happen is some serious change. And this is my call to y'all who may be in a situation where you're suing a department. Don't settle. Don't allow your attorneys to settle. Yeah, I know some people are just looking for the quick payday. Me personally, a payday is not going to change a damn thing. After 30%, 40% in lawyer's fees, yeah, you'll have a nice little sum in your bank account. But what good is that? The city's going to write it off. They're going to file it under insurance and go on about their business. Nothing's going to happen. Versus, you take it to trial. A jury trial where you get 12 men and women in a box. Black men, white women, black women, white men. and you present your case in court in front of those 12 registered voters, and you start making your evidence a part of a court record, then you get that court record. Once the case is done, you do not sign a non-disclosure agreement, and you make it all public record. And then you take it to city council and mayor, and you say, y'all just paid out a shitload of money, or your insurance company did. Personally, if I was going to sue the city, like let's say that it was me that was attacked. Got news for those cops. You might have a little bit harder time trying me like that, because if it's an illegal arrest, I am definitely going to resist. I promise you, I'm not 5'2" and 115 pounds. I'm like 5'10" and 300 plus with training. Yeah, I'm gonna resist. Just be forewarned, in case y'all ever decide to get cute with me. But I digress. And I guarantee you, my defensive tactics trumps yours. And my academy was a little bit longer than yours. But anyway, neither here nor there. But if y'all take that to the city council, you sue for more coverage than insurance covers the city. If they got $10 million in coverage, I'd sue for $20 million. You're probably not going to get it. But when you start making the city think about rebudgeting, and the fact that local federal rules that I've read anyway for the Southern District for the Southern District of Mississippi federal court rules say that they don't give punitive damages, jury might award you that $20 million. But if you only go for $1 million, they can write that off on insurance. Now, I don't know what the city of Gulfport's insurance limits are, but I would double that in what I was asking. And when they ask you why on the stand, you say, well, because I don't want insurance to cover it, and then they just write it off. I want to make a dent and show them that this is unacceptable. That's just me talking. That's what I would do. But then you get the mayor, the city council, you take the court transcripts and say, look, y'all just lost. Now, how about we do some changes around here? How about y'all act like what you're supposed to act like, which is that y'all work for us, and maybe enact certain changes. Maybe get these bad actors off the street. Maybe retrain these officers. That's what I would do. That's if it were me. That's just something I was thinking about. You put this shit in court, you go all the way to trial, you the chances of effecting change in the community and making the community safer for citizens and police officers. I think that should be the purpose. That should be everybody's end goal. Get these trigger-happy cops off the street. I'm not saying go easy on criminals. I would never say that. I'm a law and order guy. But I believe in enforcing the law equally. I believe that I don't care if you are a president, a senator, a congressman, a police officer, a correctional officer, a firefighter, city council member, mayor, governor, or a run-of-the-mill citizen, or a multiple felon. If you break the law, you need to pay the price. And the sooner we get back to that, the better off we'll be. And the sooner we let the city know that we're not going to accept these cops shitting on the Constitution, violating the law, and acting like they don't care, that's when we're going to see some real change. And it would take a trial date to do it. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Y'all have a good day.